satisfy them, in that case, they are at the edge of determining how much they want to collect. But in the other way around, in the case whereby the workers are not really, the workers are many, and the employers, they are not so need much people. Those that need people are not as much as the population of people that want to work. In that case, the employers can take some time to reflect on choosing the best out of them. In that case, the workers will be competing to be the best out of the much more available numbers of workers, and the wage rate at that moment tends to be very low, because the workers are not always, the employers are not always ready to pay any high rates of wages. That is the first determinant that we are to consider. The other determinant of wages is government policy. For example, like I said the other time, in Nigeria, government has set a kind of limit that nobody should pay a graduate below 18,000. That is a kind of policy that has been put in place by the government in order to help the workers to get a certain reasonable amount of money as their wages. So government can set a limit at which, with which the workers and the employers will work with to know how much wages should be collected and should be given. The other determinant of wages, which is very, very vital and also important, is the trade union activities. We have so many union activities. We have, for example, in the education sector, we have ASU, we have NUT. ASU is the Association of Lecturers in the universities, senior lecturers and staff lecturers in the universities. Those union, they used to decide on how to make the work environment easy and convenient for their members. In that case, ASU can fight for the benefit of their members, can decide on when the wages of a certain level of lecturers or their members should be increased, and what the government or other employers need to do to satisfy them, and so on like that. So in the case of trade union activities, they can fight for their rights in order to increase their wages. Now, the other concept that we are to look at is demand for labor. Demand for labor is a derived demand. It is a derived demand because it is linked with the products or services that the workers or the employees can provide, can produce. We are demanding for labor. The suppliers, the employers demand for labor just because of what the workers can provide, can produce, the services that they can render to the organization. That is why they are demanding for the labor. That is why they are looking for the workers. If the demand for those labor rises, there will be increase in the labor services. That is, if the demand for labor is increasing, there will be increase in the products that they can produce, because the more they are available, the more potentials, the more products that is likely to come out from their availability and their increase. What are the factors that affect demand for labor? One, derived demand. That is, the demand for labor is always derived from the goods and services they can produce, like we said. Therefore, if the demand for a particular goods or a particular services is increasing, there will be definitely an increase in demand for the workers that will produce those goods and services. Therefore, what those goods what the laborers can provide, if there is need for those products in the society, then there will be increase in demand for the laborers that will provide them. Then also, there will be increase in demand for such products because the employers need to really satisfy the customer at that particular time so that they will continue to operate. The other factor that affects the demand for labor is wage rate. A fall in wage rate will cause an extension in the demand for labor, while a rise in wage rate will cause the contraction in demand. What is Z1 talking about? If there is a fall in the wage rate, there will be more laborers available, because more people will not want to work with a small amount of wages, and they will be much more available and ready to work, but they can't find a well-paid job to do. But if there is a wage rate, if the wage rate is very high, then in that case, most workers will tend to work and want to work and want to be employed in so many places so that they will get more wages. The other factor is technology use. What type of technology is being used in a community or in a society? In industry where there is improved technology, then such an industry will have less labor, because so many of the work that needs to be done by the labor will have been done by so many sophisticated machineries. For example, in the bank industry. Today, in the bank industry, we have less people at the counter because they are already engaging the services of a sophisticated machinery called ATM. In that case, the work that so many other workers are supposed to do has been shipped on the machinery. So those are the major factors that affect the demand for labor. In an economy where it's being dominated by such an ICT development, such an economy will definitely and most likely have a high rate of people that are jobless, because such an organization will have been using machinery to replace much human effort. Then another concept that we have to look at, very, very important, is efficiency of labor. When we talk of efficiency of labor, we are talking of the working capacity of labor. The working capacity of labor is what we refer to as efficiency of labor. That is, what are the qualities, what are the capacity of a particular labor or workers to perform a certain function, to produce a certain goods, and to render certain services. That is what we refer to as efficiency of labor. In a situation whereby a worker is really performing well and producing at a high rate, we can call such a worker as an efficient worker, as an efficient labor. But in a situation whereby workers lack the qualities needed to provide some services or to produce some goods, in such a case, such workers can be referred to as inefficient workers. Now, what are the factors that determine how efficient a worker will be? What are the factors? Number one, we can see number one to be personal qualities. Personal qualities, that is the qualities that maybe it can be inbuilt and it can be absorbed, or it can be acquired through training or whatever. If a worker possesses some personal qualities that will really bring out a good productivity in an economy, it's going to be, such a worker is going to be like an hotcake to such economy or in an organization, because such a worker possesses some good qualities that can bring improvement to the organization. Another factor that determines the efficiency of labor, how efficient a labor is the education. The level of education of a certain worker determines how such a worker will perform, whether will perform well or not. A well-educated workers tend to perform very well than less educated workers. The other qualities, the other factor is training and skills. There are some special trainings and special skills that is applicable to a certain way, a certain level of production or a certain area of services. If a worker possesses such skills and training, whether through inborn acquire or inborn trait or skills, or such a worker acquires such from training or the other. Another factor that determines the efficiency of labor is climatic conditions. Climatic condition of an environment has a very great impact on the efficiency of labor, because if there is a favorable climatic condition, the workers will definitely perform very well and their efficiency will be very low because the environment, the climatic condition is so favorable and so enjoying. But the other way around, whereby the climatic condition is creating more hardship for them, it's not making the workers to be convenient, to feel convenient in the working environment. The workers will definitely not be able to produce and to exhibit some trait or some character because the climatic condition, the environment condition is not really helping the matter. The other one, which is the factor determining the efficiency of labor, is wages and benefits. If the wages, allowances, bonuses and other fringe benefits are coming in at the appropriate time, the workers are tend to be motivated to work harder, to exhibit some other traits that will help the organization to move on. So in such case, the workers will tend to improve on their performances and they will work very hard. In such case, wages and other benefits will really affect their performance in a positive way. The other one that we have is the combination of production factor. Production factor are the factor of production that we can discuss in some other topics that we refer to as land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. The way all these factors are put together, the way they are combined in order to bring out an output has an effect on the performance of the work.